Good morning, everybody. Courtney here with Ray of Hope. Um, Yesterday I told you that there was going to be some news dropping today on the page, and that is very true. For the past 2 years or more, I had been an advocate and been going to a place in Gastonia called Pavana. Um, that's where I went to get my Mac Care. That's where I went to go get my Subutex, Suboxone, whatever. Um, been successfully going there for almost a little over 2 years. Um, there are some people that know me on my page that used to work at the facility that no longer work there, and they also can condone this behavior is there. So the behaviors that I'm speaking upon are the behaviors that this facility takes, that everything that they do is required by law. That they can't issue your prescription unless you have a valid counseling. If you miss your counselings and can't get it in, you will not get your prescription. Well, let's just start from the beginning. 2 years ago, prior to that, we were buying our Suboxone Subutex on the street. I had found Pavana and wanted to, get a legal prescription. I wanted everything to be legal, so that's what I did. Got in fairly quick. Everybody at the beginning was okay. You had to do the intake process, had to do the questions, and are you ready to get sober, the whole nine. And so did that, and and their procedure there is that you go every week. Now, in the beginning, they made it seem like you could get to monthly pretty quickly if you pass your drug screenings and pass your pill counts, which I was fine with. I didn't have a problem with any of that. So for the first maybe year, I went every week for a week. And mind you, I had moved. So the drive to the facility one way was 45 minutes to an hour. And I conveyed this to them and, wasn't looking for any special treatment, just the fact that I sometimes had to drive 45 minutes to an hour, things would, come up. I'm not saying that people don't need to be responsible. People need to be responsible in recovery. But about a year and a half into my treatment, I finally was like, why is this so hard to go monthly? Like, I'm coming here, they were making me come every 2 weeks. I'd made it to every 2 weeks, had never failed a piss test or urinalysis, sorry. My pill counts were always good. But they continued to get attitudes, the people in this office. The owner, she could care less if you're trying to work your program, if you're trying to hold yourself accountable. They do not care there. Savannah doesn't care. Like, this is the straw. I'm going to tell you the straw that broke the camel's back for me. Approximately a month ago, we took my daughter up to Cherokee. And some things happened. Our vehicle broke down up there. It costed us about $500 to have it hauled home. Between the trailer, gas, food, whatnot, so forth and so forth. Costed about $500 to bring it home. So our second vehicle was down for the moment, and I had another vehicle. And they had called that Monday that we had gotten back, and I explained to them, if it is dire, if I'm going to be penalized, I will try to figure a way to come in. I really don't have family that lives in the area that can take me 45 minutes one direction. I offered to do a video chat. Now, mind you, too, I just did a pill count not even a month and a half prior, and I've been monthly for about 3 months. So, I expressed to them, I said, I'm willing to provide the paperwork, the business, all of this. I just don't have the money in order to because the other vehicle that we had, I would have to take my husband to work. He works an hour and a half away. I just didn't have the gas money put back because we used everything to have the car hauled home. I explained this to them. The girl that does the calls had an extreme attitude. Well, I'll just mark it down. I'll just mark it down. Ugh. Like, no compassion whatsoever. And trying to be, if you work your program and if you're in recovery, I don't know anybody that life doesn't happen. If you're a normal person and never had to deal with sobriety issues a day before in your life, having to go somewhere every week or every 2 weeks or every month, and, and for something not to happen, you know what I mean? I was being totally transparent, willing to show receipts. The place of business was willing to call, the whole nine. So they moved me back down to 2 weeks. And everybody in the office this past Friday, it was like 2 Fridays ago, had an attitude. They know I run Ray of Hope, and they know I'm a huge advocate for things. And I was like, why am I being, well, you didn't come in for your pill count. Like, I explained to them, I do not have the option of public transportation. I do not have the option of really calling anybody because, like I said, it's a 45-minute drive one way. And that's our access to care up here, okay? So, I explained to them and I looked at all of them in the face and I'm like, this is not what it's about. I get it about holding people accountable, but to what extreme? Now, mind you, off of every Medicaid patient, and I will not tell you how I know this information, but it's 100% correct, and Pavana cannot deny it. Off of every Medicaid patient, they make, after the $4 copay, they make $114 per patient. Every time they walk in that facility. The owner got $2.5 million to open up this facility from the government, from the opioid pandemic. But they could care less if you're working your program, if you have a job, if a certified, life event happened. You know what I mean? Like, if you're trying to hold yourself accountable, be transparent, be the person you need to be, it doesn't get you nowhere there. Pavana and Gastonia is not the place to go. I used to be a huge advocate for them, but I'm not anymore. You cannot, everybody recovers different. That's just like, if you don't agree with Matt, I'm cool with it, but don't you dare say, oh, how dare you. No, keep that opinion to yourself. But when you're in recovery and you're working, you have a job, you're trying to take care of your responsibilities, North Carolina is a fire at will state. So, and I could never get them to understand this either. Like, you're requiring people, and they never really stayed open past 6 o'clock to help anybody either. They don't do that either. So, if you're working a feasible job, if, like, say, you're working in construction and you don't get off till the sun goes down, literally, you're just screwed. They will not help you. They will laugh at you. If you don't get your counseling in, they will deny you your meds. They would rather you go through detox again than to give you your meds. They act like it is an act of Congress for you to keep your Subutex or Suboxone. And that's simply not the case. And that's not how it should be at all. When a facility is run, the facility should be run on the basis of people working their programs, being open, being transparent, being able to gain. If somebody's been coming to your facility for 2 years, and a year and a half of that has been weekly almost, that person has earned the ability to miss a couple things, as long as they're being honest. Okay? If you can't earn any steps in recovery or earn anything, then what's the point? But the Pavana doesn't do that. Only thing Pavana sees is cha-ching, another $114 made, making you come in. No matter how much of an inconvenience it may be for you. And yet again, And I offered the pill count that I missed. I offered to do a live video chat, show my bottle, show me emptying my bottle, showing the medicine in my bottle. I told him that I just could not get there. I didn't have the funds. And you could have thought I committed murder. I was treated and belittled and talked to by the providers and the staff at Pavana like I was nothing. And I am one of the longest customers that have stayed at Pavana. And for them to treat people this way, and here's another thing, they also talk about people. If your levels aren't the same, let's be, oh, they're shooting it up. They're back there talking about people on stuff they know nothing about levels. Naloxone, if you know anything about naloxone, it is hard to keep in some people's systems depending on how fast they metabolize things. These people are not educated to the right that they need to be in order to be over somebody in recovery. They're not. It's a money market for Melissa that runs Pavana. She doesn't care. They do not care how, if you're being open, honest. They do not care if you have a death in the family. To be frank with you, they don't care. They will cut you off in a heartbeat. And that is not, again, that is not what recovery should be about, or anybody running a facility for Matt or any of that. It's not what it should be. Their main goal should be getting, you're making sure you're working, making sure you're taking care of your responsibilities, and, and growing in recovery, being accountable, setting boundaries, setting limits. And, I have stayed with this place a very, very long time. And a lot of, people that have worked there have left. And the ones that have left do not have very nice things to say about this place. And I don't anymore. The way I was treated 2 Fridays ago, I would never recommend anybody. Now, if you just need it to get in and get out and find somewhere else, by all means, it is accessible there. But for long-term help to get for a prescription, I would highly, highly, highly not recommend Pavana Treatment Group. They have a place in Gastonia and in Charlotte, but they don't care about the patient. They care about the money. They will just look at you like you're stupid. Well, you know what you signed. Well, I get what I signed. I know what I signed to be held accountable, but I also know life happens. In that it doesn't matter who you are. For a year and a half, showing up to a clinic every week, peeing in a cup, I'm accountable. And to be treated the way I was treated and chastised the way I was chastised. Now, and two, this speaks big about recovery, because I was so scared. I had talked for months about changing providers, and I didn't want it to look like I was trying to doctor shop or trying to do something I wasn't supposed to. So mentally, I was playing with myself, be like, no, you need to stick it out. This is what it's about. You need to stick with it. And I convinced myself to stick with it because I didn't want to look like I wasn't doing my part in recovery. And and the amount of stress that this place put into my life, not needing to, is the problem. Because yesterday, in the matter of 3 hours with Boulder Care Online, I was able to obtain my prescription, obtain counseling, and obtain my prescription, and not had to go through any hoops. I mean, yeah, they had to, do what they needed to do, but the hoops process of having to pee in a cup every week, having this and having that, nope, none of that. The lady was absolutely flabbergasted when I told her the amount of what I've had to do for this place. And that's not, and like I said, recovery needs to be flexible. as long as you're doing what you're supposed to do, these places like Task, Pavana, that think that they have to, it's got to be just like that or it can't happen, has got to change. It has got to change. Because recovery, that's not what recovery is. Recovery is not some snobs sitting in a doctor's office thinking that, oh, I determine whether you get sick today or not. And mind you, Suboxone has naloxone in it. So it prevents you from even getting high. It has Narcan in it. And for these folks to treat people this way is unacceptable behavior. Unacceptable behavior. And I really pray that this video goes viral. Because Pavana doesn't deserve to have anybody, really. They don't deserve to have one patient. Their heart's not in the right place. The owner's heart is not in the right place. And the last thing that they care about is recovery. The only thing they care about is money. And like I said, they make $114 off of every Medicaid patient. So that's the reason they want you in that door. They don't want you to go monthly because they can't make as much money off of you. So if they can violate you, they're going to try to violate you any way they can, even though I had a pill count not even a month and a half prior. Not even. My counselor through them even verified that I had a pill count a month and a half earlier. So they literally, I mean, there's no sense for having pill counts months after each other. A month and a half after each other. There's not. I don't mind having a pill count. That's not the problem. The problem is they want to do a pill count every other month. With no justification. And they, like I said, prior I had no problems till my other vehicle broke down. And that was just me being transparent with them. Being like, hey, I can't. I don't have the money. And I was willing to show receipts, do whatever I needed to do. But that wasn't good enough for this place, and that's not okay. It's not okay to be penalized for telling the truth. It's not okay to be chastised and belittled and act like you don't matter. Because you do matter in recovery. And any place that prescribes your mat that is doing you like this, find somewhere else to go. There are so many other apps, there's so many other facilities that truly care about your ability to maintain a normal life. Your ability to get up and go to work and not have to worry, oh, do I have an appointment this week? Or am I going to get called in for a pill count? Am I going to have to miss work this week so I can do a pill count? And see, they don't care about that either. Say I don't work right now, but say you had a job. They only give you 2 days to come in after they call you. They don't care if you got to work or not. If you don't show up for that pill count, you're done. And 2 of those are not coming in and you're red flagged. You can't go there no more. And they don't care if you have a job. They'll tell you straight up they don't care if you got a job. The only thing that they care about is you having Medicaid and walking through that door. So they can go cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. And I'm just not about that in recovery. That's not... Recovery doesn't need to be a market where you making money off of my head. That makes me mad. And providers to act that way, for nurse practitioners, for anybody working in the medical field to treat anybody in that way is highly unprofessional. If anybody has any more questions about Pavana, please feel free to message me. I've done it for 2 years with them, and I'm not a child, and I want to be treated as an adult. And Pavana and Gastonia is definitely, if you're looking for a treatment option, please find somewhere else. Look up Ray of Hope of Happiness, message me on Facebook, or you can comment below. I'm going to put my email in the description. If you need help trying to find a place to go, by all means, inbox me and I will try to help you the best I can. I just don't want to see anybody else go down this road of torment. And it truly tormented me. It truly gave me anxiety, wondering if they were going to call me in, and I don't have transportation. And if I would have had another, not be able to make it, they would have went my prescription. And in all technicality, I really hadn't done anything wrong, but be open and transparent. And they're not about that. It doesn't. You build no rapport there. You build no type of respect there. It don't matter if you've been going there 3 years. You're still gonna be the same treated as if you were there going day number 1. And to me, that's not how it should be. In recovery, you build a rapport with people. You build a level of confidence. You build that respect level. And if that cannot be reciprocated to the place that you're going, then that's not the place for you. It's not. It's not how recovery works. I get it, in the beginning, things need to be on lockdown to hold you accountable, and you need a strict schedule. But a person that has multiple years in recovery with a place being like this, it's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. You end up having your whole life revolve around this place when it doesn't need to be that way. It doesn't need to be that way. It's not a life or death situation. They are not worth life or death, and they are not worth the stress they cause to your life. And, I contemplated for a long time. I'm about to finish this video and upload it. But this is what I'm about. Speaking up and speaking out on what's wrong in recovery. And this is highly what's wrong. In Havana and Gastonia, they need to be shut down. They don't care about the patient. They care about the money. And that's not what it's about. But anywho, if you've watched 21 minutes and 44 seconds into this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments, please be respectful, okay? Be respectful. If you can't be respectful, you'll be blocked, okay? Leave them in the comments below. I love y'all so big, so much. Peace out.